Hello Aries, how are you? Today is January 23rd. As I'm speaking to you, all of the planets are direct. The sun is in Aquarius, the moon is still in Aquarius. It's actually conjunct Jupiter and Venus right now. I just finished the I-Ching card pulls for the members and I'm going to get started on yours. There were 71 requests, which is kind of cool because it's an 8, which is a number of abundance in numerology and a very good luck number in Asian or in Chinese numerology. So I am going to shuffle and get a card from this deck, and then I'm going to read you the explanation from this deck because this one has a little bit, they're easier to understand and a little bit more direct. I may, based on how I'm feeling or whatever, like if it's not clear to me, pull extra from here, but I'm going to be sticking with the other one. Otherwise it just gets like so long. And there's still 61 to go through. So I am going to start with, I'll be time stamping them here, which is why I'm looking at my computer every now and then. But I am going to start with just Michelle, who didn't leave a question. Oh, that's the thing, right? If you didn't leave a question, I'm just going to pull a card for you, and whatever comes out, comes out. Okay. Let's start with just Michelle. What advice from the universe for this new year? For this new moon, let's do that. For just Michelle. Okay. All right, so 34, great vigor. And that is... constancy bears fruit. This message keeps coming out for everybody about constancy. So with great vigor, you stand upright and robust, full of resilient energy. Inspired and animated by strong purpose, you are ready to wield your strength like a hero. To yield results, you will need to act with steadiness and consistency, standing in your strength, but without mistaking it for omnipotence. And the two questions are, how will you use your power and where do you stand? Okay. Moving on to the next one. So 248. Okay. Blacklilith says, no question. Okay. So what message for Blacklilith? Oh, okay. Oh, nice. 58, joy. Lake above, lake below. So let's see here. Okay, opening. And it says, creating success, constancy bears fruit. You see what I mean with the constancy? Opening brings people together and begins a lively creative process of sharing and engage. It liberates human energies, motivates people to overcome hardship, and encourages perseverance. It means joyful and outgoing expression that opens up communication. And the questions to you are, how can you fully enjoy the moment? What are you bringing to expression? And what if you communicated and exchanged more freely? Okay, moving on to Laura at 403. Laura would like to focus on new relationship opportunities. What energy around new relationship opportunities? Okay, this is overview 20. Let's see what that says. And if you want to do a deep dive, you can actually Google. There's plenty of I-Ching things on the internet. So you can Google the card more. So it says seeing, washing hands and not making the offering. There's truth and confidence like a presence. Okay, to see is to witness everything that comes into view with open awareness. In the ritual, the everyday world is washed off, and then there's a pause for whatever comes, like a presence, into the space. Don't fall automatically into the next step of the process of life. See what is present before you respond. Okay, and it says, here's the 2 questions. When you stop searching, what comes into view? And if you had no preconceptions, what might you see? Now, I'm going to actually quickly just look, because that was one of the more cryptic ones. Sometimes they're really like poetic. Okay, it says the overview calls for composure and contemplation. As a result of deep introspection, an invisible energy emanates from us, influencing others without their being aware of it. Do not underestimate the power of this force. Like the wind blowing across the treetops, its presence is perceived through that effect it has on everything it touches. So it says here, during a period between events, the practice of stillness with awareness is beneficial. By mindfully observing the true nature of things, by apprehending the rhythms and cycles that create all creation, we can discover and explore the natural laws that rule our life. Examine yourself and your situation, not just with the thought of discovering the truth, but with the idea of focusing your personal power. This is the time to see and be seen. So to me, it sounds like there's like a little personal work, self-empowerment work to be done before we jump into new relationships. And by building your power, that's when you pull people towards you. Okay. Moving on to Sandy at 6:41. Okay. Sandy 83, card focused on financial career. Okay, this is the 3rd time this card's come out this morning. The splitting apart card. What this card means is that there's still some work to be done. Like you're in a process, it's called stripping away, this one. You're in a process of transformation, and that transformation isn't done yet. So it says, until the old is so utterly stripped from you that you have no choice but to think in new ways, you will only recreate old patterns. Do not imagine your future and make plans now. Bring your energy back to the center and honor the process of transformation. And then the questions for you are, what has worn out? Is there a less painful way to let this go? And what is underneath the surface? So it sounds like there's still some, like maybe figuring out what you want to do or what's the best path for you. There's still some work in developing who you are before the next step can be taken. All right, so Eva, I don't know how you pronounce that, Isleifs at 8:03. Okay, a card for a project that you're thinking about. All right, so okay. All right, so 43, determination. And this says, deciding. This is one of the ones with like some cryptic language here. It says, tell it in the king's chambers. With truth, call out, there is danger. Notify your own city, fruitless to take up arms, fruitful to have a direction to go. All right. Asserting your identity and right to be heard is where your decision begins. But declaring the truth is dangerous. It stirs up old ghosts, inner and outer. Yet better this than ignoring and neglecting them. Focus with clear intention on what you're moving towards rather than what you're reacting against. Okay, that's much clearer, right? So what do you stand for? How do you define yourself? What belongs in your realm? And where do you need to make a clean break? Let me just quickly look at this book, see if there's anything else that pops out that could be useful. Okay, it says some resolution is the first sentence. Some resolution is pointing to a breakthrough, but decisive action will be necessary. If you diligently hold your ground, warding off negative tendencies or bad influences, goodness will indeed prevail. So, that sounds to me like also negative thinking, or negative people, negative thinking, like anything that's filled that has negativity around that project or whatever it is, needs to be cleared out before it can be fruitful. Okay, moving on to Natacha. Okay, Natacha didn't put a question. So what does Natacha need to know right now, please? Okay. Receptive power. Okay, and this is the earth. From the source creating success, the constancy of a mare brings fruit or bears fruit. A mare is like a female horse. These are written kind of ancient Confucius stuff. So a noble one has a direction to go. At first confusion, later gains a master. Peaceful constancy brings good fortune. It says, partners with creative force in the flow of creation. When you have a mare's constancy, you will be steadily loyal to the truth and action. The noble one has a direction in mind, but not the route planned out. At first, there are many possibilities, but once you begin, guidance and signs can be received to light your way. And then the questions here are, how are you being guarded? How are you being guided? And how can you lend your strength? Let me read another thing in this one to see if something pops out, because I don't know what a mare's constancy is. Okay. Great receptivity attracts great gifts and great blessings. A natural responsiveness attracts success through support and perseverance rather than bold action. And this kind of came up in a reading I did for the members about 2023 energy. And it's really to like be in our yin action, which is actually, this is the first card, which is yang, and this is the second card, which is the yin. So it's like power comes to you by being more in your yin energy than making bold things, like setting an intention and let it flow to you, as opposed to going out and getting it. Okay, Marleen Pengel, where are we? 1222. Okay, so Marleen, pull a card on love coming in. Card for Marleen on love coming in. Okay. All right. Enthusiasm. What do we have here? 16. Okay. So this has, because this was written like centuries ago, it has some kind of like, let's say not modern language. So the message here is fruitful to set up feudal lords and mobilize the armies. So it says the energetic charge of enthusiasm can be used to set great things in motion. Use it wisely to expand and enrich your experience by extending your network of support. Marshal your resources ready for future challenges and to channel enthusiasm's strong active power. And the three questions are, what do you imagine? What inspires you? And how can you use your enthusiasm constructively? All right, so to me, this is go out and meet people. You know, like, and to kind of maintain that enthusiasm throughout it, like not to let things like beat you up or get discouraged, but to really channel enthusiasm in productive ways, but also not, I'm getting like, I watched a TED talk about someone who literally like hacked online dating. Like she was a statistician or something. And so she went through every process. So I think it's like, don't just like throw things on a wing and a prayer. Like, how can you actually like structure your meeting people or getting out there or trying to bring love in? Okay. Triple fire. 25, 14, 25. Helps if I write the right numbers. Okay, triple fire. Card on spiritual growth. Okay, for triple fire. Would you mind just one? Okay. All right. Pushing upward here. It's a 46. see what this says. Creating success from the source. Make use of seeing great people. Don't worry. Set forth to the south. Good fortune. A vigorous, active time. Involve the source of inspiration in your work. Seeing great people, whether in the flesh or with your inner vision, can charge you with the energy to begin your ascent. Hard work lies ahead, but worry not. Set out towards warmth, light, and activity. And then here are 3 questions for you. Is this something you can commit yourself to? Where might it take you? And what is the next step? So it sounds to me here like it's almost inviting you to seek out, I don't want to say a guru or something, but start reading works from the greats, or, you know, pick kind of like an area that you want to develop in, and maybe start studying in that. Because it says seeing great people, whether in the flesh or with your inner vision, can charge you with the energy to begin your ascent. And it sounds like there's a lot of studying coming up for you, if you're committed to it. Okay. All right. 1627. Okay. Avisha Bhiryani, could you please pull a card for me for what's coming in love in 2023? Okay. Love in 2023. Oh, way too many. All right, I'll take this one. Oh, I just got this. Okay, so pushing upward. Oh dear. Pushing upward and the light went out. 46. Here we go. Okay. So creating success from the source, make use of seeing great people. Don't worry, set forth to the south, good fortune. It says a vigorous, active time. Involve the source of inspiration in your work. Seeing great people. Oh, this came in literally right before. Whether in the flesh or with your inner vision, can charge you with the energy to begin your ascent. Hard work lies ahead, but worry not. Set out towards warmth, light, and activity. Is this something you can commit yourself to? Where might it take you? Let me read a little bit more. And actually, I'm going to turn the light back on here. Sorry. I'm going to read from this one to see if anything new comes out. Because in the last one, it made more sense. But in your situation, it's a little bit different. Okay. I knew it. Natural advancement is represented by growth in springtime, when new plant life pushes upwards towards the earth. The emphasis is on an upward motion, a movement from obscurity to influence, with growth that is supported by adaptability and absence of obstacles. Constant, flexible growth is the key attribute of a plant pushing upward. This reading suggests a period of promotion and prosperity for you. So maybe like in the springtime, it says to go out and see someone great. So I don't know if there's like a relationship counselor or some self-improvement program you can do, something that would connect you with other people, because that'll kind of put you on the path. I think in seeking out, maybe in the south of where you live, seeking out a teacher, a class, some kind of interest, a work thing, with someone who is great, might put you in the condition to meet somebody that could be good in the springtime. Okay. Emily. Okay, card for what you need to know now at that time. Okay. All right, a card for Emily. What does she need to know now? Okay. All All right, overview. And this says, this just came up before. So, yeah, I think the other ones. So this says seeing, and it says to see is to witness everything that comes into view with open awareness. In the ritual, the everyday world is washed off, and then there's a pause for whatever comes like a presence into the space. Don't fall automatically into the next step of the process of life. See what is present before you respond. When you stop searching what comes into view, if you had no preconceptions, what might you see? So this is really kind of like a take stock and evaluate, you know, like, is everything as it seems? What do I really want to do? Who's good for me? When am I happiest in my life? What are the situations that make me feel full, you know, abundant or most powerful? And to really pay attention to your physical energy throughout the things that you go through in your day. I don't know why that just came to me, but it did. Okay, let's do Jasmine Maldonado, 2118. Okay, focus on my love life. Oh, goodness. Too many. Let me do that again. Okay, Jasmine's love life. There we go. I'm going to take the top one. It says organized discipline. Sexy words, no? So let's see what this says. Okay, this is one of the more cryptic ones. So the army, it says, just because something isn't the goal doesn't make it the enemy. Balance the focused and intense drive to get it done with a measured, disciplined approach. This will allow you to achieve your objective effectively and with less collateral damage. Good fortune without mistake. So it says, what are you aiming for? How can you get more from your strengths? And with all your efforts, are you creating the life you want? Now, I'm going to grab this deck here, this book, because that one, I got it before for someone else and it's a little, yes. Okay. So this one is really about understanding your objective, understanding exactly what it is that you want. You know, so I want a partner that's XXXXX. And then how would you, like, literally going up with like a game plan of how might you meet these people, where might they find themselves, and also being willing to put in the work over the long term. Like if it doesn't happen immediately, to keep pushing through and keep pushing through and keep pushing through. Okay. Simon S. What's next in Simon's professional life? What's next in Simon's professional life? Okay. The darkening of the light. Let's see what this says. Okay, it says, constancy in hardship bears fruit. So since others do not share your standards or insights, it's dangerous to let the light of your character shine freely. Perhaps you have been injured, or perhaps you fear injury. Searching for a stronger position in this situation is not an option. Instead, stay true to the light and keep it burning by hiding it away. When no one is looking, who are you? How do you safeguard that light? Because that sounds rather cryptic and almost toxic in the advice. So let me give you something else here. Okay. Okay, So this says, when the darkness of stupidity reigns in human affairs, it is best to keep your brilliance hidden under a bushel basket. Let your thoughts and efforts be quiet, self-contained, and protected as much as possible from harmful influences. Don't let yourself be swept along on the current of conventional wisdom when too many dangerous uncertainties exist. Try not to become too depressed or anxious. This period too shall pass. Just endure it for now and preserve your self-confidence while remaining cooperative and flexible. The time to assert yourself will come. Avoid looking too far ahead if you have not yet achieved your goals. That will only stimulate your feelings of regret or longing, eating away your inner strength. Now is the time to be cautious and reserved. Control yourself. Do not needlessly stimulate forces of opposition. I think that's the real message here. During dark, unsettled periods, it's better to step gingerly around the sleeping dogs. So if you're in a difficult work situation, this says try not to make like enemies of the people around you. Maybe kind of just toe the line for a little bit until this moment's over, because you want to hold on to your strength and your self-esteem and confidence for what's coming next. And it seems to me that there's something that's ending or coming to an end. And so I think you don't want to like ruffle too many feathers around whatever that ending is. Maybe like don't burn your bridges is kind of the advice that is coming to my head. Okay, Cecilia, 444-2647. Okay. Whatever the universe wants Cecilia to know. Okay, whatever the universe wants Cecilia to know. Okay. All right. Gentle penetration. Let's see what that says. Okay, so create small success, fruitful to have a direction to go, fruitful to see the great person. So subtly penetrating means becoming part of something or someone, feeling your way into things, yielding gently to their nature. Such influence does not bring sudden transformations, it creates small success. Have a clear vision of the great person in reality or in your mind's eye. A great person is like your ideal, in work or in love or in spiritual development. Have a clear vision of the great person in reality or in your mind's eye as a model of the larger possibilities implied. And the questions are, how can you get to know this from the inside, and what is taking shape? I'm going to look here to see what else comes out for this one. Okay, it talks about quiet, relaxed effectiveness in action. A gentle influence is at work, but just as the wind can be ceaseless in its effort, small forces can add up to produce lasting results. Okay, so this is like, don't worry about taking big, bold steps, but small steps, like a drop of water, the Chinese water torture, which is just one drop at a time. That's whatever you're working on can bring great change if you are consistent about doing it, no matter how small the movement is. Okay, let's do Michael. Financial career, what time? 29. Okay, so Michael Morton, financial career starting from the 22nd. Okay, too many. What advice from Michael Morton, financial and career starting from the 22nd? Let me get that. Okay. Centering in truth. Now let's see what this says. piglets and fishes, good fortune. Fruitful to cross the great river, constancy bears fruit. So piglets and fishes are symbols of wealth, plenty, and luck, often used in offerings to the spirit. You are in a state of committed connectedness and can trust you will be provided for. Success in ongoing ventures and the insight to be in the right place at the right time are both manifestations of your inner truth. And it says, where do you place your trust and what feels true? But that sounds very, it's like when you're aligned with the truth, good things come. That's probably one of the better ones I've done today. So, okay, Hillywood. 3044. Hillywood wants to know what to focus on this year. Too many. Okay, what to focus on this year? Okay, the approaching of spring. Let's see what that says. That's the first time I've gotten this in. Okay, so creating success from the source. Constancy bears fruit. Arrival at the 8-month means a pitfall. Okay, so the greater spirit draws nearer in an ongoing process of growth as you simultaneously pay patient attention and take responsibility. Harvest happens during the 8th month, so that's like August, or I guess if we're dealing from January, maybe September, but it isn't the end of the process of growth. Stay present to the ongoing cycle and do not only focus on results. So how does this want to grow? How can you take responsibility for its development? And what would your greater self do? That's interesting. Let me look here real quick to see if there's anything else. So spring is coming, good times seem inevitable, and there's a vitality in the air. This is a most auspicious time. Like a snake emerging from hibernation, negative forces are only beginning to stir and can be effectively controlled. This is a time of hopeful progress and must be used to one's best advantage. When approaching good fortune, conscientious work pays great dividends. A clear road lies ahead. In the spring, seeds that have been lying dormant are ready to bloom. So it sounds like if you've been working on a project or something, you're going to start to see signs of it coming to life in the spring, and it'll really start to bloom in the summer, like August, September. However, it says it's not done. You have to keep, like turning over the soil and making a plan for what's next. So it's like once you've hit that harvest moment, there's still work to do. So just a call out for that. Okay, JJR. Let's see how many more of these I have left. Oh, lots. This is going to be a long day. I may have to do 2 videos. Okay, JJR. What is blocking them internally or externally from commercial success? What needs to happen to get more return from books? Okay. Patience. Our favorite word. Okay, so it says waiting with truth and confidence, shining out, creating success, constancy brings good fortune, fruitful to cross the river. Waiting for what you need, bring yourself into harmony with the desired outcome. It may take longer than you imagine. Faith and patience are your allies. But fully present in waiting, your attention shines and starts a creative engagement with the world. You are committing yourself to its manifestation. And so here the 2 questions for you are, how can you wait patiently and with commitment? While you wait, how can you best make yourself ready? And that to me is like talking about really about getting into alignment with the outcome. So there's a visualization exercise that we do for improved results in offices. And what you want to do is like do a visual imagination thing where you're pretending to meet with a friend of yours for coffee and you've already found all the success that you want. Like feel it in your body, speak out loud, and say like what it feels like to have reached this goal, exactly what your goal is, speak in specific numbers. And so start to identify in your own body what success feels like. And then as you have that feeling, continue to tell this person what steps you took, what was the process that enabled you to get that success. You'd be surprised how much your body and mind get on board with this. It is an incredible tool. So highly recommend. Okay, Yvonne, 3546. All right, Yvonne wants to know, should they stay or go or go move to a new residence? Stay or move to new residence? Just one card, please. I'm going to take that one because it's sticking out. Okay, so this is temporary obstacles. It's 39, and it says limping, fruitful in the west and south, not fruitful in the east and north. So I don't know where you live, but if you live in the west and the south, then that, according to this card, is fruitful. If you are in the east and north, no. Fruitful to see great people, constancy, good fortune. This is take a step back from the struggle and connect with people more than ideals. Seeing helpful people keeps you traveling towards your long-term vision despite the obstacles and course corrections. Someone with experience and wisdom might reorient you, or you may be guided by an inner vision or visitation. So like if you had somebody come to you in your dreams, or, you know, like a sixth sense about where you should be, that may be a clue. It says, where can you find help? How could you see the obstacles differently? And can you imagine going a different way? Those are the three questions that come up. Okay, 18. AhhhBeee, pull a card about love. All right, let's do a love advice for AhhhBeee. Okay, it says increase. And let's see what this says. Okay. Fruitful to have a direction to go, fruitful to cross the great river. The old Chinese character for increasing shows a pot filled to overflowing. It means blessing and superabundance. Respond with purpose and movement. Let yourself imagine where you want to be and take the first steps that commit you to getting there. This is how to keep the momentum. And the three questions are, what would you do if you knew you were blessed? What if there were no limits? And what could change for the better? Sounds good. All right, next one. Miaux Catteri. So we are at 38-37. Okay, any advice regarding disability pay and not getting interrupted while getting life back on track? Okay. Advice about how not to lose the disability pay and getting life back on track. Okay, it says the cauldron here. I haven't seen this one yet. Okay, it says from the source, good fortune, creating success. It says a new beginning. The vessel provides stable, robust foundations for a new life, and also the crucible where you can expect to be transformed and remade. Just as wood becomes fire or raw ingredients become food, the experiences of life can be blended and transmuted into a meaningful whole. And the questions are, what is the vessel for transformation? What are you beginning? And what will you cook? Now, let me just check this. I think actually that's not true. I got this for myself and it was a little like, Okay, it says the cauldron symbolizes nourishment and rejuvenation. Sooner or later, good comes to those who do good. Joy comes to those who bring joy to others. Opportunity comes to those who persist in their dreams. Rejuvenation is a returning to one's natural desires and the recharging of batteries that comes from making progress towards one aspiration. This reading suggests nourishment and transformation for people of goodwill. Good fortune and success are indicated here. It talks about like getting healthy, rejuvenating, a fresh approach to old habits. Look for ways of putting new life into old forms. Only when great vitality is present can real breakthroughs be achieved. Yeah, so to me, it's like really focusing on health and wellness and new life. Like that's really just the best advice, to focus on getting yourself healthy. KJ, so 4110. What do they need to do to get into alignment with what is for them? Okay. Only one, please. KJ, what do they need to get into alignment with what is for them? Okay. Careful affection. Oh, let's see what that says. The marrying maiden. To set out to bring order, pitfall, no direction is fruitful. Okay, what's the question? Get into alignment. Marrying maidens supported the first wife of Chinese noblemen. You are in a supporting role. You are not yet ready to exert influence. Do not set intentions or make plans. Feel your way, adapt, and find your place without originating any action or having any agenda of your own. And the questions are, how can you grow into this situation? What does it mean to you to come second? And how sustainable is this? Now, I'm going to look at this deck for a little bit more. Okay. This talks a lot about relationships, right? It says affection is an important part of intimate relationships, but it must be handled carefully to be both satisfying and supportive of each person's self-respect. For instance, a married person's secret lover would have the conflicted feelings of affection coupled with insecurity. So like, no judgment at all right off the bat, and I don't know your life or situation, but what this is saying is like, don't ever be the third person in a relationship. So that's one. Again, not saying that that's your situation, but there may be like a work thing or a relationship where it's like there's a primary group and then you're there. So where you're like feeling like you're third wheeling is not, it's not healthy for you. And also to overcome challenges and achieve longevity in a relationship, you need to remain mindful of extreme feelings of attraction as well as the transitory nature of most relationships. So it also says to me, like, to be willing to let things go, not just relationships, friendships, jobs. And it says here, if you're in doubt as to whether you should follow your heart or your head, allow some time to pass and perhaps the answer will become clear. Boldly asserting yourself right now could bring misfortune. So do not attempt to be overly creative or to attract much favorable attention. At the same time, allowing yourself to drift aimlessly can be a mistake. Find balance in a middle way. So it's like, to me, this sounds like there's a lot of, it's a year of like a lot of internal work. Standing up for what's right for you, getting clear on what's right for you, what you deserve, what you want, and how to go about getting it, through also saying no to what you don't want, right? So this may be a year of you saying no to what you don't want, but not necessarily getting into a place of having what you do want yet, because it sounds like a little transitional energy there. Okay, 4538. Let's do Llellabell. Wants to know about direction and purpose career-wise. Direction and purpose career-wise. What changes are coming? Okay, harmony. It's an 11. Okay, flow. Small goes, great comes. Good fortune creating success. Nice. So this says, flow is a sign of the full expression of tremendous creative energy and spiritual power. Create harmony with the greater flow and pour its energy into creative manifestation. Pettiness and smaller concerns are swept away so that free communication and great things become possible. And the questions are, how will you work with this extraordinary potential? And how can you channel the flow of energy to create harmony? Very nice. Okay, Dani A, 4648. What changes are coming? Dani A wants to know what changes are coming. Ooh, okay. All right, we have the Wanderer here, which is 56. Traveler, creating small success, traveling, constancy brings good fortune. So it says to be the traveler means you are not at home here. You know you don't belong. Since you are only passing through, your creative involvement is limited. You cannot expect to change your surroundings, and nor should your surroundings change you. Be constant to your own way as you travel. What do you bring with you into each new situation? What does this place ask of you, and where are you going? Are you moving towns? Will you be moving towns? It sounds like there is a lot of change coming for you, actually. You cannot expect to change your surroundings, and nor should your surroundings change you. To me, that's kind of like the answer, because you said like what changes are coming. It's like you're not going to change the people around you, and that place, you shouldn't allow that place to change you. So if you are currently in an environment, work, relationship, or town where you feel constricted, like you have to be someone else in order to be accepted, then that's the change. Okay. Tanu Oberoi, 4841. What are the upcoming events or energies surrounding? Upcoming events or energies surrounding. I'll take the top one. Okay, mutual attraction. Let's see what we have here. Okay, influence, creating success, constancy bears fruit, taking a woman, good fortune. So influence is what moves us, whether that's emotions, inspiration, physical responses, or visiting spirits. Steady the power of influence by creating a place in your life to contain it. Good fortune comes from a more feminine way of relating. being open and allowing space for new influences. And the questions here are, what influence is active and what does it draw you towards? And what is its place in your life? Let me see if there's anything else to add here. Okay, in response to the magnetic attraction between two people, the masculine principle, the creative and outgoing, seizes the initiative and then submits to the feminine, the receptive and nourishing. When the assertive is able to defer to the receptive and the receptive accepts responsibility and exercises its quiet leadership, an electric and profitable union is the result. This brings good fortune, for all success depends upon the effects of mutual attraction in one form or another. Consistency is important in matters of mutual attraction, for this is what separates courtship from mere seduction. Okay, so you could have a new relationship coming in. You could have a new job coming in. I think, as I said, there's this overall energy for us to be a little bit more yin, passive this year. So if you find someone who's like very strong and very action oriented, then you will have to put yourself into a polarized energy in order for that to work, right? Like both of you can't be that energy. And what's being asked of us this year is to learn how to create space for things to come into us. On the flip side, if you are the strong energy, then what's going to work is that polar opposite, right? So to just kind of keep that in mind. Okay, Elaine Masterson. What's the next step on their spiritual journey? Oh, okay. Returning. Here, so 24. It says, creating success, going out, coming in without anxiety. Partners come, not a mistake. Turning around and returning on your path. The seventh day comes, you return. Fruitful to have a direction to go to. So it says your journey leads you out and home again in a two-way flow of creations to revitalize and restore. Traveling companions walk alongside you for a while, but if meant to be there, they will never steer you off your path, especially with an overarching direction and purpose to guide you. So there's 3 questions here. It says, what is beginning to germinate? How can you follow your sense of direction more closely? And where might the path lead now? Let me just see what pops out here because that one's a little cryptic. Okay, a turning point recharges you and eventually brings success. This hexagram is associated with the turning of darkness back towards the light, with the winter solstice, the darkest day of the year, and the hours of daylight start to increase. So this is the cusp of a turnaround, a time for letting go of the old and making way for the new, a time of new beginnings, and it all starts with rest. Okay? Okay, let's move to It's Just Me. My name is Agidi. I'm sorry, I'm going to mispronounce that, so I'm not going to say it. What do you need to know about your financial situation? Agidi Juice? Sorry. No one can pronounce my last name either, so I feel you. Okay, what do they need to know about their financial situation? Okay, Grace and Beauty, 22. This is right here. This is a lovely card. Creating success, small yield from having a direction to go. So this is about natural beauty, the simple expression of nature. But it's also the way people create images to communicate something of a person or thing's inner nature. However, no created image could ever express a whole person. It's a time for imaginative, lively exploration of beautiful ways the essence could flower and be seen. And then the two questions are, how can you make the essence visible? What do you choose to communicate? This card's really about becoming a creative force, like embodying the art or creation that you want to put out into the world. Yeah, so like become the creator, really. I forgot to put your timestamp there, so I'll have to do this one, 55:27. Okay, Laura Flynn, what do you need to know regarding your birthday weekend of bliss? I'm all about a birthday weekend of bliss. Laura, okay. The Well. Okay, 48. I got this the other day about my career. Okay. Almost reaching okay, so it says here, the well or source is independent. You cannot lose it, nor can you grasp onto it. People and experiences come and go. Time passes. The well is always the well. Never doubt that you have the resources that you need or that they are enough. The potential in this situation is undeniable, but it may still be a long way from realization. What is the ever-present resource that you draw from, and what can you do to realize its potential? Right, so that was kind of like what I was saying even in the questions, like I could never tell you like what's going to happen, but this card seems to say that there's lots of potential, whatever it is there, that may not happen on that weekend or may not happen on the schedule that you're hoping / expecting, but that there is definite potential. Even if it doesn't happen, like where can you tap into in your energy to make it happen? Okay, let's do Thomas Walsh, and then I'm going to take a break. What wisdom serves Thomas best right now? Enthusiasm. Okay, and that is the energetic charge of enthusiasm can be used to set great things in motion. Use it wisely to expand and enrich your experience by extending your network of support. Marshal your resources ready for future challenges and to channel enthusiasm's strong active power. And the three questions are, what do you imagine? What inspires you? And how can you use your enthusiasm constructively? And this card's really good about like meeting people or just like getting out there and sharing your enthusiasm with others as well, and where you can use your enthusiasm to rally the troops, literally. Like, where can your enthusiasm make other people want to do more, be more, etc. Okay, so I'm going to stop this at 60 seconds and add on a second video. Okay, Chattianna wants advice for the Aries node return. Advice for the Aries node return. All right, I'll take the top one. Patience. Always a welcome message, no? It says waiting. So, waiting for what you need. Bring yourself into harmony with the desired outcome. It may take longer than you imagine. Faith and patience are your allies. But fully present in waiting, your attention shines and starts a creative engagement with the world. You are committing yourself to its manifestation. And the questions are, how can you wait patiently and with commitment? And while you wait, how can you best make yourself ready? So I guess anywhere where you're like stressed about things not coming into, that it's learning how to like wait and be committed at the same time. Okay, next, Lily C. What's he going to do next? What do you need to know about this relationship? Okay. Harmony. It's an 11. Okay, flow. Small goes, great comes. Good fortune creating success. So it says flow is a sign of the full expression of tremendous creative energy and spiritual power. Create harmony with the greater flow and pour its energy into creative manifestation. Pettiness and smaller concerns are swept away so that free communication and great things become possible. The question is, how will you work with this extraordinary potential, and how can you channel the flow of energy to create harmony? So this is really about stepping into harmony. So if it's a non-harmonious relationship, then what needs to happen to do so? And that may mean leaving it. So whatever your goal is, flow and energy and harmony, and wherever that's blocked, that's what needs to change. Okay, 224. Daniel Lyon, Melanie C, what do they need to know? Melanie C, what do they need to know right now? Okay. Organized discipline. That's a 7. And it says, so this one is for the army. And it says, just because something isn't the goal doesn't make it the enemy. Balance the focused and intense drive to get it done with a measured, disciplined approach. This will allow you to achieve your objective effectively and with less collateral damage. Good fortune without mistake. So what are you aiming for? How can you get more from your strengths? And with all of your efforts, are you creating the life that you want? So this talks about like being very disciplined on the process and not expecting to move forward in leaps and bounds, and to be very detail oriented so that you can move forward without mistake. Okay, Mommy Harper, 339. Christina, card on love. Okay, so for Christina, a card for love. Okay, following, this says, honor the flow of energy from source to fulfillment and align your actions to it, allowing your ideal outcome to meld with the natural current. Following may then be an effortless flow of supportive synchronicities. Moving with the creative process is never a mistake. How are things flowing and how can you move with them? And where are you being nudged and guided? So to me, this is very much a go with the flow situation. Don't make plans, don't project, don't make expectations, but based on the reality of where you are in any situation, what is the best decision for you in that moment? Okay, Amanda, 445. Amanda Ott, a card regarding finances. Okay, what do we have? Fellowship. 13. All right, so people in harmony. It says, there is strength and energy in alliance. Find like-minded others. People in harmony can commit themselves further, take greater risks, and enter new territories. Once there is agreement, follow the vision tenaciously with the constancy of a noble one. What are the unique contributions? Where is the common ground? And how will your life change if your group expands? So to me, this is like talking about partnerships, and finding like your right target, that those are the areas that you kind of want to concentrate on now. Like, can you partner with someone where you bring one set of skills and they bring another set of skills? And like, who are the people that you're speaking to, or who should you be reaching out to? Okay. 602. Charlie, why are they misunderstood in their relationships? Oppression. Let's see what that says. Okay, so confined. Can you stick to your purpose when there is no external encouragement or confirmation? No outward signs of progress does not mean you or the world are wrong. Concentrate on inner growth within the confinement. Don't place too much value on words. They are not trustworthy enough to give you a way out. So the questions here are, what if you could only rely on yourself? And then the other question is, who are you when you are alone? So to me, it seems like the why are you misunderstood in relationships is like kind of a karmic life plan lesson, like the experience you signed up for in this lifeline, to really define, hone, and be okay with who you are. So I hope that answers your question. That was really intense, actually. Okay, so Chelley, what direction is the question? Chelley wants to know what direction. Okay, that one came out first. Keeping still. It's funny, this second round is like really literal. Keeping still. Okay, it says, hold yourself still as in meditation. Don't seek to grasp yourself by hunting down your every thought. You do not need to resonate with anyone. Even if you feel as though you ought to be sensitive to their presence and needs, it's no mistake to exclude all these things and be quiet within yourself. So the two questions are, what if there were nothing you had to do right now? And what if there was nowhere else you had to be? So the question of what direction, it's exactly where you are. And to stop worrying about where, right? To like really be solid in the current present moment. Okay, 8:39. Okay, a slower pace. Working hard on self-improvement, feeling humble, sad, and small. What do they need to know? Okay. This one. Okay, temporary obstacles. 39. Okay, so this one is, the card is called limping, and it says, take a step back from the struggle and connect with people more than ideals. Seeing helpful people keeps you traveling towards your long-term vision despite the obstacles and course corrections. Someone with experience and wisdom might reorient you, or you might be guided by an inner vision or visitation. And the three questions are, where can you find help? How can you see the obstacles differently? And can you imagine going a different way? And one of the things that, about obstacles is that we don't like them because our brain is is wired to constantly go forward, go forward, go forward, go forward. That's the dopamine system. And when we don't go forward, we feel we miss those hits of dopamine and the joy. But the obstacles are often there to make you stronger, make you take a second look at what it is that you're doing, because there's a flaw in the process, or to teach you it's just not the right time. So the obstacles are always a reason, and learning how to be peaceful in the obstacle moment or do the research that needs to be done is part of the process. It just doesn't feel good. All right, 1038. Okay, Yvonne Ortiz. Will they succeed? I'm not going to take that one. Will they succeed on YouTube? What do they need to know about their YouTube channel adventure? All right. Okay, diverging interests. Let's see what this says. I haven't gotten this one yet. Okay. So it says, small affairs, good fortune. You contain contradictory impulses within you, or see a situation from two angles at once, perhaps as things are and as omens. If you can scale down matters to small affairs, it's easier to give space to both visions, even using the opposing views as creative stimulus or challenge. So I don't know if you have a channel on like he said, she said, or like seeing two points of views, but there's value here in opposing viewpoints in whatever it is that you're doing. So the question is, what if the difference were not a threat? Or like maybe you feel like you have to do something that is the opposite of what you thought you had to do, and that's actually not a threat, but maybe like a pivot feedback. How could this tension be creative? And if you can't see eye to eye, what can you see? Okay, moving on to 1218. What Cheryl M. Brown, what do they need to know now? Okay, nearing completion. And this is the last card in the I-Ching, actually. So it says, at the end of the I-Ching, nothing is complete, everything is in flux. A wise fox will only attempt to cross when the river is solid ice, and then treading carefully, every sense alert. When you are not yet across, you may be hesitating on the verge of a transition, sensing if it's safe to commit yourself. Use the skills of a fox, of a wise fox. So the first question is, how do you prepare for the crossing? And the second is, how will you know when it's time? So it sounds like there's a big transition going on in your life right now, but it's not the time to like leap forward so much as test the waters. You know, is it the right time? Is it not the right time? And use your senses, it's just spidey senses, to understand, like, is this a good thing to do? Is this the right time to do it? Heather Stallnecker, how to step forward gracefully, feeling stuck and bored, life is a broken record. Okay, following. And that is 17. So it says, honor the flow of energy from source to fulfillment and align your actions to it, allowing your ideal outcome to meld with the natural current. Following may then be an effortless flow of supportive synchronicities. Moving with the creative process is never a mistake. The questions are, how are things flowing and how can you move with them? And where are you being nudged and guided? Yeah, so it's, you know, it's about being in the flow, even if it is boring, and being very conscious of where you are in the process and making decisions based on that, not being focused on the end or focused on the path, but focused very much so on what can I do right now to improve my circumstances or to whatever, you know, that it doesn't have to be about completion or moving forward, but about making the right choices for yourself in that particular situation in that moment. Okay. 1507, Ash. Okay, what needs to be done to improve emotionally and financially? All right, I'm going to take the top one. Oh, they both came out as 8s. So, liaison. This is about meeting someone. I know because I got it for myself. Like a partner or something. Yeah, so the woman is powerful. Do not take this woman. So coupling means meeting, and the powerful woman represents someone or something with a profound and mysterious power to attract you, re-energize you, and change everything. Do not try to control this energy because you can't. You must continue on as before. Resist this change entirely or allow your life to be transformed by the encounter. And the questions are, what would be an adequate response to this new energy? How far could this change go? And how far will you let it go? This may be, because this talks about like meeting someone, but it's not a permanent thing. It's a person who is coming into your life as a karmic soulmate partner, like a contracted partner, to put you onto a new path. So if you meet a female or someone who has a female energy, powerful female energy that comes into your life, it's not about the relationship. It's about the path that they're putting you on. But that there is there's a powerful force that is coming into your life that may be in the form of a human being, female, who is going to move you, because there's a picture of a tornado here, right? Tornadoes move things. So it's going to pick you up and move you to where you need to be. Okay, 1720. Angelica Gonzalez, small business success for the year. Okay. Keeping still. Okay, this is a 52. And it says, hold yourself still as in meditation. Don't seek to grasp yourself by hunting down your every thought. You do not need to resonate with anyone. Even if you feel as though you ought to be sensitive to their presence and needs, it is no mistake to exclude all these things and be quiet within yourself. So what if there was nothing you had to do now? What if there was nowhere else you had to be? I'm going to look at this one for a little bit more guidance here. Okay, regular periods of rest are an important aspect of personal development and evolution. The most relaxed person may not be the one who sleeps 12 hours a day, but the one who knows how to grab a nap while cruising at 600 miles per hour at 35,000 feet. Learning to act when it is time to act and be still when it is wise to be still is the key to obtaining peace of mind that helps you stay alert when clear focus is needed. So to me, this is a burnout warning. You know, to don't expect things to always be going super fast. To know like when to take time out, when to rest and rejuvenate, and when to bring concentrated action. That's kind of the recipe for success. Okay, Queen RB, whatever the universe has for Regina. Okay. Clinging like fire. I haven't seen this one yet today. All right, let's see here. Oh, I'm looking at the wrong one. 30. Okay, clarity. Nurture your capacity to see and nourish new insights. Flashes of meaning bring clarity and lasting awareness, enabling you to see signs and messages all around you. Female cattle represent the reserves of strength that sustain mindfulness, along with a quiet willingness for that power to be used and guided. So the questions here are, what do you see? What does it mean? And how can you nourish and sustain a high level of awareness? So the universe wants you to pay attention a lot and get clarity on people, places, situations around you. Okay, 2024. All right, so Minhazz wants to know about work life. Should she stay self-employed or work for something? Okay, enthusiasm came right out. So this one has come out quite a bit actually today. And it's really about how to use your energy and enthusiasm to rally the troops, to rally people around you, right? The energetic charge of enthusiasm can be used to set great things in motion. Use it wisely to expand and enrich your experience by extending your network of support. Marshal your resources ready for future challenges and to channel enthusiasm's strong active power. So to me, this is like bringing whatever you do to a bigger group of people. I don't know which one of the options does that, but it's really about using your enthusiasm to encourage as many people as possible. So it says, what do you imagine? What inspires you? And how can you use your enthusiasm constructively? Okay, 21:45. Sukie, what new connections should they focus on in 2023? Okay, organized discipline is another one that's come out a lot today. So 7, just because something isn't the goal doesn't make it the enemy, meaning focus on the process. Balance the focused and intense drive to get it done with a measured, disciplined approach. This will allow you to achieve your objective effectively and with less collateral damage. Good fortune without mistake, meaning that like the devil's in the details, and learn to enjoy the journey as much and pay attention to all of the processes, because that's where you could ultimately trip, and you can only do that with organized discipline. So it says, what are you aiming for? How can you get more from your strengths? And with all your efforts, are you creating the life that you want? Okay, 22:58. Maddibel didn't have a question, so we're just going to pull cards. Okay, conflict. This says, things are not as they should be, so you argue for what you need, sustenance, to be believed, or for justice. But in defiant frustration, the creative flow is blocked. Open your heart to the potential for change and a higher perspective. Consult with someone wiser or outside the conflict. It says, what are you arguing for? And here it says, if you can't win this one, what else can you do? Right? Like, is there a price for peace in this? Or, you know, is there something else that you can do instead of what you're fighting for? Okay. Sharon, what's the outlook on new love coming into their life? Okay. All right, here we have Revolution. And the card for that is Radical Change. Time for transformation. In the moment of change, there is truth, sincerity, and a sure knowledge. The power of the whole, unfolding creative process from source through to fruition and fulfillment can enter here and change the world. Regrets vanish along with the past to which they belong. The new time is coming. And here it says, how can you break the mold? How must the form change to express the essence? To to me, this talks about like being unapologetically yourself, doing things very differently, being willing to break out, like if you, what you've done up till now, try something completely different, get out of your comfort zone, maybe date someone that you would never have thought of dating. But it's like, be willing to do, wherever you have settled into a pattern of, I would never do that, do the opposite. Okay, Bilquis, 25-28. Wants to know about their life purpose. Okay, attention to detail. These keep coming up for us. It's like, it's funny to read on this side. Okay, so this is taking small steps. You're going beyond boundaries and structures, still paying close attention to them, responding and adjusting. This is a creative way to engage with the world. The call of the bird in flight reminds you not to go against your nature and overreach yourself. Scaling down your aspirations brings you blessings. Questions are, what small things can you do to meet the needs of the situation? And how can you take even more care? Yeah, I like this. Don't go against your nature and overreach yourself. Scaling down your aspiration brings blessings. Okay, John and Lola, 26-36. What advice for Lola's well-being? Affluence. See what we have here. Got this a couple of times. You are rich either in material goods or in knowledge, wisdom, power, energy, talent, or relationships. Whatever form it takes, you have something real and potent in your possession. That which you have or are, you can give. This pure potential is an opening to source and a promise of abundance. Given all that you have, who will you be? And how can you affirm and support what is good? To me, this is about like being thankful for what is, and how to use where you are rich in energy, creativity, blah, 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 to maximize the rest, to supercharge the rest. Okay, 27-49. All right, Mystik Angel, general card pull about career. I swear, those people who do those 2.5 hour lives, I don't know how they do it. Okay. All right, nourishment. Here, 27. So it says, this hexagram is called JAWS and refers to all that gives you nourishment: physical, social, emotional, intellectual, spiritual. It is all creating and recreating an individual ecosystem to sustain and shape you. Assess how you habitually nourish yourself and others and honor it all. So the question is, what would nourish you? How is your hunger motivating you? And if you accept this as nourishment, who will you become? Interesting. I don't know if you're like in food or if you want to work in food, but that definitely seems like a good omen. Anywhere where you're feeding others, you know, either with what you do or with whatever your talents, using your talents to feed others. Okay, blue flame integration. What energy surrounds their romantic life right now? Dangerous depths. That sounds high drama. Let's see what that is. It's an 11 though. Okay. Sometimes you'll fall into the swirling, unknowable dark, and the only way forward is to accept the truth of the present moment and trust in your inner knowing. Stay in communication with your heart and creative source. then movement forward shows courage and commitment as well as a test of your convictions. So it says, what are you sure of in your heart when nothing else is certain? How can you flow on and through the dark? To me, this says like really getting in touch with your feelings, trusting them and letting them be your guide, you know, so more heart over head kind of energy. Okay, Russell didn't give me a question. I don't even know if you want a question, but here you go. How are we doing? Almost. All right, Russell. Affluence. This keeps coming up a lot for us Aries today. I'm going to read it to you. Okay, you are rich either in material goods or in knowledge, wisdom, power, energy, talent, or relationships. Whatever form it takes, you have something real and potent in your possession. That which you have or are, you can give. This pure potential is an opening to source and a promise of abundance. Given all you have, who will you be? And how can you affirm and support what is good? Okay, let's do Linda. Linda wants to know if a happy long-term relationship is in the cards and what energy surrounds her love life right now. What energy surrounds Linda's love life right now? Okay. Gentle penetration. So it's kind of a weird word, but it's about like small consistent steps leading up to big change. So subtly penetrating means becoming part of something or someone, feeling your way into things, yielding gently to their nature. Such influence does not bring sudden transformations. It creates small success. Have a clear vision of the person in reality, like the person that you want, in reality or in your mind's eye, as a model of the larger possibilities implied. And the question is, how can you get to know this from the inside, and what is taking shape? Yeah, that it doesn't have to be, that there may be like a relationship that's developing very slowly, small moves over time, that it's going to be one of those like, oh, I didn't even realize like we're actually really good together kind of situations. Okay, 3249. Adriana Zerpa wants to know about money, work, and career. I'm not going to take that because that wasn't done. Okay. Money, work, or career. All right, mutual attraction. So together with the card that fell out before, which was the conflict card, it's about not really like polarizing things, like making things either or that knowing that where there's polarized, one person's going to have to play one part, one person's going to have to play another part. So it says influence is what moves us, whether that's emotions, inspiration, physical responses, or visiting spirits. Steady the power of influence by creating a place in your life to contain it. Good fortune comes from a more feminine way of relating, being open and allowing space for new influences. What influence is active and what does it draw you towards? What is its place in your life? So less going out and like charging towards something and more creating the space for it to come into you, you know, or if you've tried really going for it, then, you know, setting the intention in motion and then letting the space for it to find you. It's really about balances. Okay, 3431. Okay, Fabian. What's blocking them from feeling in the flow, or when will things start feeling comfortable? Okay, I'm going to take this top one, which is the cauldron. Yeah, the vessel. So this is a new beginning. The vessel provides stable, robust foundations for a new life, and also the crucible where you can expect to be transformed and remade. Just as wood becomes fire or raw ingredients become food, the experiences of life can be blended and transmuted into a meaningful whole. So here it says, what is the vessel for transformation? What are you beginning and what will you cook? Right? And the idea here is that taking everything that happens and putting it into one giant ball of experience, like transforming it into something else, a seed that becomes the plant, wounds that become healing therapy towards others, right? Like we often say that the best healers are the most wounded because they take those wounds and they transform them into something else. So there is something in your life that needs to be transformed into a different energy, and that's kind of the way forward. Okay, 3606. All right, Vanna wants to know how the career choice she's manifesting is happening. Okay. Ooh, number 1, creative power. First card in the deck. So pure creative spirit flows through people and events, and inspiration wants to be realized and moved towards manifestation. Welcome its momentum and find ways to work with this vital energy. Sustain a constant two-way flow between source and action. Be true to your initial intent and align your choices with this original vision to yield positive results. And the questions are, how can you liberate creative energy and what wants to be creative? So it sounds pretty good, actually. The point is to continue to choose, to make choices that are in alignment with what you want to manifest. Like, don't send confusing signals to the universe. 722. Grizzly Ford. Bena wants to know about their side hustle in the near future. Okay. Endurance. Let's see what this says. Okay. Lasting. So keeping tirelessly to your own path, whatever landscapes it travels through, is not a mistake. What lasts bears fruit, not because you arrive at some final destination, but because through all the changes you persevere in your intent, always finding ways to make it real. What inspiration are you making real in your daily life? How can you continue on the same path even as you adapt? Who will you become by persevering in this? So to me, the answer is don't give up. Like said briefly. Okay, 3830. Robin wants to know if a blessing is coming. Is a blessing coming? Okay, it says the Wanderer here. $56. To be the traveler means you are not at home here. So you may feel a sense of conflict in some situation. You know you don't belong. Since you are only passing through, your creative involvement is limited. You cannot expect to change your surroundings, and nor should your surroundings change you. Be constant to your own way as you travel. It says, what do you bring with you into each new situation? What is this place asking of you? And where are you going? Sounds to me that the blessing is coming, like if you take steps towards it. It sounds like there's like some movement needs to happen out of whatever the source of conflict is. Okay, 3946. Adina, what can we say about their job? Okay, small influences. So 9. So this says, a time of restraint brings great hope for future growth and success, but it may feel more like frustration and setbacks where things don't quite work yet. You must cultivate the situation and yourself in small ways, caring for the details, developing your readiness and fitness conscientiously. What small thing can I work on today, and how can I cultivate a better terrain? Okay, so it sounds like right now there's some challenges around you, but the question is like, how can you turn some of those challenges into things that could be fruitful in the future? Okay, 4053. Okay, cosmic goddess, what is she not seeing in the moment that would change how she sees the world? Nourishment. This is about giving, right? Feeding yourself, feeding others. So it says here, this hexagram is called Jaws and refers to all that gives you nourishment: physical, social, emotional, intellectual, spiritual. It is all creating and recreating an individual ecosystem to sustain and shape you. Assess how you habitually nourish yourself and Assess how you habitually nourish yourself and others. Honor it all. What would nourish you? How is your hunger motivating you? And if you accept this as nourishment, who will you become? So, like, are you turning away affection, or where people are trying to take care of you? Are you not taking care of yourself? Is there something that you know that you need that would make you feel better that you're not doing? There's somewhere there in the physical, spiritual, emotional that you need to open yourself up to. Okay, 4226. Noble Rain. Should they bother trying with Todd or give up? Try with Todd or give up? Try with Todd or give up? Right, this is enthusiasm. So maybe try. It says, the energetic charge of enthusiasm can be used to set great things in motion. Use it wisely to expand and enrich your experience by extending your network of support. Marshal your resources ready for future challenges and to channel enthusiasm's strong active power. This talks about like using your enthusiasm to motivate the troops. So like having your energy rub off on other people. What do you imagine? What inspires you? And how can you use your enthusiasm constructively? I do want to add an asterisk to this one, that you don't want to be the only one enthusiastic in a relationship and putting in the putting in the effort. If it's just you doing it, then no. Okay, Karen, 4354. Karen wants to know about the next phase of her life. I'm going to take the top one. Extended family. Let's see what this says. Okay. People in the home cooperate in their shared space and invest in it together. Steadily over time, all involved can grow freely, find their place, and nurture connections with others. New things can enter and grow, becoming part of the whole. And the questions here for you are, where are the boundaries of the home you inhabit? How are you building inner and outer relationships into a home? And what kinds of growth does this environment support? So, very much about the relationship with the people around you and who you call home and who you call family, and being in a place where you feel like it's like a family. Okay. And then finally, last one, 4527. Li, who didn't leave a name or a question. So we're just going to pull a card. Oh, nice one. Grace and Beauty, the 22. Really about becoming the work of art. This is about natural beauty, the simple expression of nature, but it is also the way people create images to communicate something of a person or thing's inner nature. However, no created image could ever express a whole person. It's time for imaginative, lively exploration of beautiful ways the essence could flower and be seen. How can you make the essence visible? What do you choose to communicate? So it's really about stepping into a state of grace and beauty, and not only making the art, but being the work of art yourself. Okay, that was fun. That was long. I doubt anybody's watching this, but I hope this was helpful. I hope you enjoyed your little mini reading, and wishing you the best for this 2023. Take care.